Hey, what's up everybody? It's KyFy. I'm glad you could be here. If you are returning, I'm glad you could be back. What's good? You know how we do. Basically, I have a good reading for y'all today. It's gonna be all about that table, that goddamn table that everybody talks about so much. What you bring to the table. It's annoying at this point, right? So what is it about the table that we talk about so much? Why is it so important at the end of the day? Because even though we talk about it, even though most people are in their feelings about it, what is it that actually trips us up? What is it that actually triggers us? So this is what we're going to talk about. And it came through as a whole download. So I want y'all to look at it real quickly. So you feel free to pause the video so you can see it. So quickly, what is the Zin-Finity Board? Basically, the Zin-Finity Board is an elementally energetic grid that flows in a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind in a still life fashion. So basically, imagine your life, you was able to press the pause button, but see a menu. This is that menu. And in that menu, you know how to say all is mine? This and these are the pieces of your mind in totality. So we're going to talk about that. Well, this is what the Zin-Finity Board is. So basically, anything that you can think of is in this domain right here in this circle. And we're going to figure out some of the things that actually, blocks us because it's in a circuit. This is an energetic grid. You understand the tree of life. Do you understand the philosopher's stone? So that's where this, the inspiration came from. So without further ado, this is the Zin-Finity Board. I'm going to start with the components. It goes from 0 to 0. So this is where 0 is, and 0 is da'at. Da'at is the beginning and the end, sex and death, whichever you want to hear it, whichever way you want to hear it. And it goes from here. You start at da'at, this is the throat chakra, right? 0. Then you go to 1, which is the crown, right? The crown is what crowns the reading. Da'at is basically my cursor as a reader, what I'm going to be targeting, and also the area of your knowledge, right? So it goes from I know to I be. Your being is at the crown, right? To I want, which is Hokmah, which is the light. To I need, which is Bina, which is the dark. That was the third eye, right? From there, you go to Chesed, which is the will, right? I will. Then it's the Geburah, which is I desire. Then the heart chakra is Tiferet, which is I love, naturally, right? Then you go from there to Hoden Netzach, which is the solar plexus, and this is I do, or better translated as I act, right? Then from there, at Yesod, which is the sacral chakra, we have I feel. And then from there, lastly, we have I am, and this is at the root chakra, Malkut. So the tree of life, philosopher's stone, razzle dazzle, and then the Zin-Finity Board. So here we go with it. Now, this is why this reading is going to be important. And I'm going to go over some of these messages really quickly. So the first part of the message is about the observer effect, the inner observer effect. So when you're looking within with a magnifying glass. Now, you have the ability to do this, and other people have the ability to do this to you. So when you magnify your light, your conscious light, your consciousness is an energy. When you magnify that energy on one of these places, on somebody, which it could be off, it triggers you or them, right? Into forcefully having to alchemize the energy. So I hope that makes sense. You have the ability to magnify the inner thoughts, the inner things that are wrong with, or not wrong with you, that's crazy, but the perspectives that you have that may be off a little bit, or the perspectives that not may be off with a different person, because who are you, right? We are our own beings, and who's to say we can ever fill their shoes? It don't matter who you think you are, how better you think you are than another person. You can never fill their shoes. they are the same God that was in you when they started. So imagine this is how they ended up. So you can understand if you're empathetic enough. And empathy is just the ability to understand perspective, right? You'll be able to understand what that person might have went through and how to deal with them. So yeah. So this focusing inner light, right, can be either it can be focused, or it can be more conish, right? More like a spotlight. It doesn't really burn and it doesn't really hurt you, but everything is seen in a wider area, right? It's not that much focus, but there's light to a certain amount of things. But when it comes up to the laser focus, which is like when you wanna find out a reason, you have a laser focus. When you wanna have tunnel vision on something to do, you have a laser focus, right? So that laser focus, it causes, okay, how should I say? Basically, imagine your perspectives just like a door. And if there's a lot of energy on the other side of the door and that door is being heated up, eventually it will be, the structure wouldn't be able to hold the pressure on the other side anymore. And then the door you can't use it. Now the door is broken and all the energy is flushing through the door. It's going through the door. So that's what happens when somebody focuses on something that can trigger you. That door is forcefully open. You didn't open it. You didn't want to deal with it at that point, but now it's time to deal with it because you must either regulate the energy or figure out a way around it, But it brought me somehow, I waited a little bit of time to what you saw before. So this is the timetable, and I'm gonna hold it up for a little bit so you can see. There's no more table and I am the table anymore. This is the table. This box that you see right here is the table, naturally, right? So what's going on here? So in my previous readings, I talk about this a lot, but I talk about the castle, the kingdom, and the flag. And what was that about? Relationships in general. The divine masculine is the kingdom, the divine feminine is the castle, and the flag is basically the union between the two. And then also what came to me next was the court, where the king and the queen sit. So understand that in unison with somebody, when you have union with somebody, there's a kingdom and then there's a castle. This is all within you at the same time, but just understanding the relationship perspective, the castle is the divine feminine, and the kingdom is the divine masculine. And the world of creation is where the castle lies. The world of formation is where the kingdom lies. The light, the conscious light, and the spiritual energy, right? They work hand in hand for the soul in itself, for the all in itself, for all of pieces of you. So understand the benefits, Everything has its roles. Now we're going to talk about those gender roles a little bit, right? Because those are also frustrating, because who's to say that anybody's supposed to be doing anything, right? We live our lives according to how we want to live them. So there's a perfect method, and then there's the method for you. And that's how everybody should go about looking at this. So let's continue. I hope you can see it when it's face down like this, or when it's on the board like this. So on the table, there is a blue square, right, representing the blue masculine energy, and then there's a pink dot. But understand that this is a circle with unlimited energy in it, and it represents the divine feminine. So you have the place, the borders of the place, and the energy of the place, right? Now nothing is actually here, so that means that this circle right here is under V, meaning, well, you can understand it, right? The virginity is untouched, that kind of thing. When you're first starting out in a perfect world, when y'all first starting out, you have a guy that hasn't had a relationship, and you have a woman who hasn't had a relationship, and then they meet, they love each other, they get married, and this is where this table starts. This is where that analogy is coming out to play when we talk about it. This is when it starts. How does your kingdom look? What are the experiences we're going to have with each other? And that's the time table. So it's not about just being a table. These events happen in your space, in the space that you guys reign. Now, I can keep going on with that, but you can understand the reign takes place in the domain of the kingdom and the castle, right? So before the divine feminine is a castle, it's a palace. And before the divine masculine is a kingdom, it's a domain, right? So put it this way. You have that bachelor, the guy who has this stuff together. This is the perfect world. We're going to talk about a perfect world. Feel free to use the analogy how it fits you, but I'm just going to talk about the perfect world right now. This guy has a domain, right? And the difference between the domain, you have a space that you reign, but no place to bring it and no place to manifest it. So that's the difference between the divine masculine right now. When it comes to the divine feminine, you have a palace, right? A palace is a beautiful place, open spaces that basically can run itself. But the part about it is a palace has no walls. And the only difference between a palace and a castle is the defense. So you can understand how when a man, the divine masculine, in the domain finds a place, the divine feminine, a place to bring his stuff, to bring the domain, now you can control it without a threat. You have a defense and you have a place to rest. Now the divine masculine has a place to rest, and the divine feminine has a place to grow safely, right? So moving on with that, you guys become a kingdom and a castle. So hope that's making sense so far. Now I'm gonna talk about the two extreme types of men and women that you're looking for. So basically, when it comes up to the man, I'm gonna bring it up real quick. I hope you can see it. When it comes to the divine masculine, right, you will have a square that's completely filled with blue. That means completely masculine powered man, right? The masculine energy of the man is dominant, right? This type is a man and where the divine feminine energy is dominant. So those are two completely different sides. Take it how it resonates, right? Which type of person are you with when it comes to the man? When it comes to the woman, same thing goes, right? You can understand how this is a complete feminine woman and she's just sitting in her femininity, and this one right here is more active rather than sitting down and whatnot, right? So you can understand how this is happening. So what is the difference between the divine masculine and feminine in this case? The divine feminine is of spirit. Spirit is more powerful than consciousness. Point blank, right? And this is why 9-1 is the ratio. Just go with me, because 9 and 1 is 10, but the fact is we're basically our missing piece. When you find union, you find your missing piece. So you guys meet. 9 and 1 is 10. Well, 9 and 1 is 10, and 9 and 1 is 10 over here too. But the thing is, in itself, there are 18 chakras. And when you put your 9 together with the 18, it came to me funny, because this is the way the download presented itself to me. So I'm only going by how it was presented to me. So I hope you can understand this. It's gonna get good. So the feminine energy in the spirit is a 9 compared to our 1 in the masculine, right? But in the physical, our energy is a 9 compared to their energy in the 1. So you can understand how we can help each other. There's a missing piece to the whole completion of it, the perfection that we all look for, right? There's a missing component, and this is why we all are each other's missing piece. And this is why we have that want to find that one, you know? So now it's time for some color. As I mentioned before, in this pink space right here represents the virginity when it first starts. You're the life of the divine feminine when it first starts. It's full of energy, compact, and able to be dense, right? Able to just contract the light. Okay, I said the light. So think of the divine feminine as a black hole, and think of the divine masculine as a sun. Two opposite energies, all in conjunction with each other, because, you know, we don't know what gravity is, but in all science, gravity is near black holes. You get pulled towards it, right? So that's desire in itself too. Desire is endless. We have endless amount of desires, and the endless amount of things that we can do to fulfill these desires. So it's all about a balance. So when the masculine finally meets the divine feminine, this circle right here is finally conquered, right? And then the first box appears. And what does this mean? This is the start of that kingdom. This is the start of that relationship. In a perfect world, if it was from virginity, right? Virginity, both male and female. So understand that. So this union is created, and I would like to think, or not like to think, basically I was guided to put the fact that relationship comes in levels of 10 levels of relationship. So you can reach a level 10 with somebody, and that's the full completion of it, the best experience that a man and a woman can have in this life. So just understand that. But when this is first broken, right, the V is taken whichever way you want to see it, right, you have a life together. Now there's a small kingdom and a small amount of energy. Now guess what? You manifest this energy, you nurture this energy, you nurture the relationship, and next thing you know, guess what happens? There is an abundance of this nurturing, and it is starting to make the whole situation grow. Now the thing is, this is another pink circle on the outside of it. Understand that this is growth. As you grow, you level up, right? So basically, there's an excess of uncontrolled energy that is here, and it's up to the masculine to level up in his formation, how he handles things, basically in the consciousness, his, in his methods. Basically he levels up, and the next thing you know, you reach level 2, right? So now in union, your kingdom, I hope I'm gonna bring it closer a little bit, but now in union, your kingdom got a little bit bigger, and what's gonna happen is there's gonna be excess of divine feminine energy again, because that's the more powerful one, 9 to 1. You understand? 1 to 9, 9 to 1. But if you're thinking about light to dark, right? Think about it this way. We only see what 0.005 of the light spectrum compared to what dark we see or we don't see at the same time. It's crazy. That's how much more powerful the dark, or more present the dark actually is in our existence in general. So take it how it resonates. I'm saying we, men, the masculine, the conscious, controls that, finds, well, the way it was given to me was find the divine geometry to keep it in its place. So, and all the sacred geometry is tagged to the elements and things like that. So moving on with that, I'm gonna just bring this example. I'm gonna talk about how it works. So you keep going, she keeps growing, her nurturing gets better. You guys have a child, and this level goes up. You guys experience a little bit more, right? Every time I grow, every time I build this kingdom, the experience is had. So this experience can never be going back. You can never double back on this experience. You can never have this experience again once the V is taken. Understand that. But the V is both for the man and the woman. Understand where it resonates, right? So now I'm gonna bring a scenario up. You understand that this can keep going, and it started from the root, the sacral, the solar plexus, and let me just go to the heart, just to keep it, fancy. Right? So let me draw one more. So let's just say you guys start a business together also, but the business doesn't go so well. I'm bringing up a random scenario. You can switch it for how it resonates with you. But look, let's just say this happens. It's excess energy. Y'all want to grow. Y'all don't want to be stagnant. No energy. You are light beings. You are filled with energy. Trillions and trillions of megajoules of energy. That energy cannot be still. And it's in our nature to either grow or move to a place that you can grow. It's just nature, right? We want to be better. We want to be the best that we can possibly be. We want to have the best experiences we can possibly have in this life. So that's the natural ambition before death. Like, you want to do everything before that. So that's what powers us. So let's just say during this time something happens and y'all break up, right? So this is what happens when you broke up. Two things happen, and let me draw it this way first. And ladies first, right? So this area right here is a domain, is a way of living that you are used to. And it is also a way that you are comfortable with living, right? So this area must be maintained by you. Now, you have 1 level of masculine energy, 2 levels of masculine energy, 3. And now, in order to even feel comfortable, either within yourself or with another person, you have to find a way to concentrate and hold this energy, right? So you find a way to contain it and control it. But, you know, how life goes, you find another man. But let me go to the other side real quick. What happened with the guy, right? It happens for both man and woman. This space right here, this space can only ever be maintained. You cannot re-experience this ever again. This was the best of both parties. You cannot ever re-experience this. I forgot one piece, right? You cannot ever re-experience this. So this is what happens. The man has this void to fill, and also, you know, if there was a split, he's looking for something that's above this, or at least a woman of this level, this value, but with her divinity. That's in a perfect world, right? But with that V card, you know, with all that abundant energy before it started. Because if you find a person that's stressed like this, that person is not in their femininity. That person is holding up a certain level of masculine energy around what they do in order to be comfortable. But they're moving, and feminine energy is better when it's at rest, right? Feminine energy nurtures and grows when it's at rest. Yeah. So this is what happens. Well, let me put it this way. As a woman, you find a way to do it, and you do it yourself. This is a scenario that happens all the time, right? And at the same time, as a man, you find a woman that can fill this void. Understand that this is an experience that you can never have, but you want to still grow. You acquire this energy in order to get to the next level, right? So this is why you can do this within yourself. You can do this with another person. It's easier to do it with the other piece of God that was brought here for you, right? Our one, right? It's easier to do it with that one. We keep looking for that one, and do we find it? So let's just say he finds this woman, and that woman is willing to take everything that she sought, everything that she can have, and start a new life with him, right? So that's also a stress, because she can only maintain everything outside of this circle. Now let me explain it real quick. Give me a second. So this is a double scenario. On one side, the man can only offer everything after this point to the new female in his life. He can't offer anything before this, because this is already experienced. You can re-experience it, and it won't have the same great effect. It won't have that, the butterflies of it being first, the fears of it being first, the bonding that comes with it being first. It won't have that, right? So on the flip side of it, now that you found, let me go up one more level so you can understand it. As a woman, when you find that man, that is willing that is basically willing to take everything that she's been through and still start a new life with. The foundation was already laid, so he cannot relay a foundation. He has to come into an old kingdom that was set for you, built for you by another person, and then make repairs. And once he makes those repairs, he fights this way, right? He fights this way, going in, so you can contract and go into a still position as a woman. At rest, divine feminine energy flourishes. So he pushes, or not pushes, he or if you allow this to happen, he forms ideas, thoughts, processes, things that he does that allows you still at this moment to go into your natural divine feminine. Does this work? Does he have the ability to do this? That's one problem. On the flip side, you now are looking for a man that cannot have this best piece of you that was offered again, right? He cannot have that. He has to settle for what's next, right? The foundation is already laid. He said, you know what? I'm a good architect anyway. I know what to build. And in fact, I'm not actually at this level. I'm over here. I'm going to just draw one more level. Right? So he has built himself enough. Hopefully, if you find somebody that can actually maintain, at the very least, you need to find somebody who can maintain. If you find people who are new to the game, maybe doesn't have much experience past what you already know, everything that comes outside of this little inner box right here, he has to hurry up and fill. He has to hurry up and fill this location. Has to. Why? Because he has to be able to keep you safe. He has to be able to maintain everything that came before. So he has to be able to maintain the kingdom that was there before. Maintain the castle that was there before. So let's keep doubling back and forth between genders, right? And it's not really genders, it's divine energies. So you keep going with this scenario. Next thing you know, as a woman, you get to level up. New life, new you, new me. This feels good, right? This feels good. This feels great. We're having a ball. We're having a blast. I can grow. This feels great. Next thing you know, some other type of trauma happens, right? And then this guy isn't here to maintain the new energy and the new life and the new preferences of this current divine feminine energy. So now this feminine energy has to now go within her masculine again to maintain the castle that was abandoned by the crown, the king. It was abandoned by the king. Abandoned is a strong word right now, but I hope you can understand where I'm going with this. It was abandoned by the king, but the queen can still rule and conquer, but she's not in her feminine, right? So here we go again with it. Now, this feminine, here's the problem. And I'm going to just talk about the dusties real quick. When y'all talk about dusties, y'all literally talking about men who haven't had the experience or the knowledge or hasn't come up yet to this level. But it's a team effort for the energy, divine energy, to be compacted into a place where it can be managed. And for the divine masculine to push out and to do the best he can to control the energy, right? So let's just say he finally controlled the energy, right? But now you want to grow. Now you have that excess energy. You came into this new life with this new person to grow. You want to get to this finish line. The finish line is over here. You want to get to this finish line. You see it. It's within your reach, naturally. So let's go back over to the men real quick. This energy comes out. I find this woman. She's bad. She's gorgeous, right? I find this woman, she's bad, she's gorgeous, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't care what she's been through. I am going to take this challenge up, because at this point it's a challenge. You know how we do. Man and woman is a challenge. It's a group effort. It's a team challenge. So you want to grow. I'm a man who can actually do that. And then I take up the challenge and I try to get this contained. Right? Now here's where all the disasters happen. Oh, I messed up. But I know you get it. But here's where all the disasters happen. All the cycles happen. So basically, how many men are you going to find that are not like this at this level? Or even a level 3? How many level 3 men are you going to find? How many men are you going to find that actually can contain or manage or be able to start over and get you to that new level? And for the same thing when it comes to a woman, well, where you're looking for a woman, as a man, you done lived your life, multiple women or multiple different lives with different people. It's not much that you haven't experienced, not many more heartbreaks you can take. So you're looking for a woman, like, you can see where this goes, and it just keeps going on and on from there. And that's basically the dilemma that we face. But I hope this made sense, because I tried to do a straight download. So what I'm going to do from here, if you can check out right here, from 1 to 10, from those levels that we discussed, we're going to talk about 0, which is here in the middle, the center, 0, 1 through 10, back to 0. So if you don't mind, I'll get these cards down right about now. Alright. Hopefully it didn't take too long to get that analogy down, because I needed to break that down in order for you to fully understand what we're about to go into. So these are going to be the levels of the relationship. But I'm going to start out how I usually start out, with the crown. Well, started from 0, going down to the root and back to 0. Alright? So this is the official order of what we're going to draw for. Starting at 0, we have I know. What do you know? I be. Who are you going to be at the end of the day? I want. What do you want? What do you go for? What is your path? I need. What do you need out of this situation? What do you need to get to your path? I will. What are you doing? How are you doing it? Can you do it? I desire. What do you desire? Will and desire is opposites, because you will go for what you desire. Next up is I love. What do you love? Now let me keep going. Next up is I do. Then it's I feel. Well, I do is self-explanatory. I feel, these are the emotions right here. And then you have I am. Basically, what are you? What can you use? I am. Something, if you say I am safe, I am at peace. That's a statement that can ground you, right? That's those kind of statements. And this is where a place where you lack control. When in regards to your desires, there's also a lack of control. It's offsuit. I'll explain it in a second. When it comes up to what you love, this is a little bit offsuit too. As far as what's off and what we're going to really talk about, what we're going to decipher on, basically, the first one going down from the crown, that messed up, that was offsuit, is I love. So your love, you're patiently waiting, but you're not taking many chances, right? I desire. Since you're not taking many chances, you're deciding to sit in your conscious power and decide everything. I'm gonna nitpick instead of letting spirit decide, right? And then at your root, it is swords, which means this is opposite of what you need here. You're too much in your mind to manifest, so you have nothing of substance to use, only things to clear out. So we got a lot to talk about. Moving on from those eyes, all of those eyes are perspectives in your mind, right? Moving on from those eyes, we have who. this is all about, which is boundaries. In the world of emanation, which is the fire, right? You have what, which is the world of manifestation, which is affluence. And this is the world, the physical world. Then you have when, which is the past life, and this is in the world of formation, the world of the mind, right? The world of air, right? The domain of it anyway. And that's when. This has to do with time. And also, I'll keep going. So where is in the spirit. So when you go within, that's the only place, that's where you build from. That's the where, right? And that's in the spirit, the world of creation, right? That's meditate. Oh, I forgot why. So last up is why. So who, what, when, where, and why the situation, as well as I know, I want, I need, I will, I desire, I love, I do, I feel, and I am. After you have these pieces of information, along with those who, what, when, where, and now why, we have friendship. Then you have a base of all the information that you need to figure out these questions, to figure out how to get this energy, and to figure out how to get out of this cycle, in a sense. So we're gonna go. Well, we're talking about relationships mainly. So the cycle in a relationship, there could be a cycle that y'all split. There could be a cycle that there's a union. You never know, because I'm not God. Right? So after you get that piece of information, those pieces, these energies that are off have to be clarified, meaning that we need to draw, and I'm going to draw white cards on it. So we need to draw until, like a goldfish kind of, until the energy is cleared. But I'm only going to draw 3 cards maximum, just to, get the reading done in a sense. Then the last part of the reading, which is a star stream, we talk about what you can experiment with, how you can express it. This is basically the ifs. Once we know everything, if you do this, if you do that, it's scenario based. It's if you experiment, if you express, if you integrate, if you transcend, and therefore we get back to 0, which is then I will ascend, right? So there's a lot of ifs, and you come back where you started, then you will get the answers you came for. So whatever's going on right now, let's get down to it, starting with 0. And this is the 7 of Wands. So in the place of I know, the throat chakra, da'at, this is the place of communication. We have the 7 of Wands, and that's perseverance, taking defense, and maintaining control. Now, this is a fight. And this is the fight on the conscious side to maintain control over the energies that either trigger you or keep you imbalanced, right? So in order to maintain control of what you know, you have to consciously judge what you've been through to move forward. And this is what this is about. There's a war going on with what you think you want, what you desire, and what you consciously want, right? Consciously are willing into existence. There's a battle there, but we're going to get to it. Moving on from what you know, and this is based in knowledge, and this is the top of the tower. What you know, the more you know, the more you can see. The more you can see coming, and the more you can explore, the more you can go conquer, the more you can, that kind of thing. The taller the tower, the bigger the kingdom, or at least the more protected. From what you know, you go to what I be, your being. At the end of the day, you are the 6 of Pentacles, somebody who is abundant and is willing to give the scrapes. But the thing is, you've been giving the scrapes for too long. So let's see what that means right now. Also, your being, in a sense, cancels out what needs to be done in your root chakra. So understand that being you at the end of the day gets rid of your fears regardless. So that's one way you can stop what fears you, what you bring to your own timetable, the experiences that you're gonna have, right? So 6 of Pentacles. So it's charity, generosity, and sharing. Now, like I said, people take advantage of the generosity. Be careful who's around you that's taking from you, because it might be leech oriented, but more like almost like a shame, but a necessity, I had to say it like that. So when you do that, you balance what you give compared to what you earn or what you grow, and therefore your kingdom is intact. Therefore, what you have doesn't get taken from you because you're willing to give, and you are a light spirit, a light being. You are willing to go in the hole for the people that you love. It's that simple. It's not even hard to think about. This person is not going to be struggling because I know now. Because I know they're not going to be struggling anymore. I'm going to do what I can. And that's your spirit. But they can take advantage. Or the situation can take advantage. You are not God. Sometimes you have to give it to God. Because you can't put yourself in the worst position. You have to give your overflow and not pieces of you. Moving on from there, we have I want. And this energy is also on suit. That was the crown energy. What crowns the reading, right? Your being. Now it's what you want. I want the Six of Wands. Let's get it. So victory, success, and public reward. Now this is in a place of imagination and intuition. Also, this is the light side of the third eye. And it's on suit. So what that means is your wisdom is intact. What you've been through is intact. You have the right boundaries up in place to keep your mind and what you know. Alright. Yeah. So that's that. There are many attacks, but the thing is, there's a ferocity that you have now. And you're not playing no games when it comes up to the chips that you've been building up. You're not playing no games no more. These chips for you. These are pieces of you that you're giving it to. And finally, you're giving it to the person, the pieces of you that require it. You're nurturing yourself with more focus. Remember when I talked about that focus, you can trigger yourself too. So after the Six of Wands and the I want, we have I need, which is the dark side, Bina, of the third eye. And this is the moon. The moon is a water energy, so it's on suit. What do I mean by on suit and off suit? On this side of the board, we need to have water and air. On this side of the board, we need to have earth and fire. Now, these spaces right here, earth, water, air, fire, it must be that. And this is why these cards are off suit where they are, because they don't follow the energetic code. Goddamn mosquito. It's gonna die tonight. But yeah. So the moon card. So unconscious, illusion, intuition, and fantasy. Now, this is a good card to have here, because this is the head of your intuition, your soul, where your crown, the energy that just comes off the crown, is like, it's not like you can actually understand what it is specifically. You can only have your intuition and kind of decode it, what it is. So using your intuition, this is what's taking place right now. So being intuitive, you found the things that you needed the whole time. So if you feel like you have a long way to go, but it's easy to go the long way, it's just a little like dull in your mind, I hope that made sense. If that made sense to you, that was for you. That's for you, because even though it's a little dull, it's new. It's not an old experience. It's that area that's past the safety. But your emanation is on point, honestly. That means your imagination and how you truly view it and how it affects you is on point, right? So moving on from there, we have I will, and this is the Two of Pentacles. Let me get it. So balancing decisions, priorities, adapting to change. Now, as things come up, if you're able to adapt to change, what changed, which is what we're after in the first place. Change is indefinite. Everything is going to keep changing. No land is the same as it was 10 years ago. No land. Even the beaches that you see right now, all the beaches are not the same. They move, everything changes. You cannot stop change. You can try to halt it, but eventually that pressure will force things to change. And you got that under control. but it's a little two-sided. So let me see. This was a battle of trying to figure out how to not be overwhelmed by what's going on. So even though you can do it all, you can kind of say, okay, I'll do this because I want this, I'll do this because I need this. And that's what the Two Pentacles right here is talking to me about right now. I'll do it because I want it, I'll do it because I need it. And you can't overdo things because you have to rest. And rest is not just purely physical. It can be spiritual too. You're giving out your energy. You are around people who need you too much. When are you able to help yourself? When are you able to focus on yourself? Oh, and now to the actual first energy. I had it wrong the first time, my bad. But the first energy that was off was the Queen of Wands in desire. That's why I had a little off, right? So let's get this really quickly. I'm gonna get these white cards down and just read it. This is in a place of desire. So the Queen of Wands is courage, determination, and joy, right? And the crazy thing about that is, let me put this down. More fire, right? It's fun, but it's not getting you what you need. It's always there, it's always available, but it takes away from you. Now, this Queen of Wands is in her ego. Understand this, the spirit is supposed to be controlled by what you create, right? Or I should say, your id, your personality should be controlled by your spirit. But your ego should be controlled by your consciousness. When your ego is controlling your personality, you do things outside of yourself, outside of what you know already not to be you. You do things to hide. You do things to be safe. You do things to fit in. That kind of thing. But you're good at it. But even though you're good at it, it's not what you want. So it's like, well, it's like you just don't fit where you are. And then went from there to the Three of Wands. Then to the Ten of Swords, and I finished that energy. So, Three of Wands, looking ahead, expansion, and rapid growth. Now, this is among one of the things that you desire. You desire moving forward, but you can't move forward until you learn the lessons that came before it. So the lessons are like baggage. I explained this before. If you open that baggage up, you'll find what you've been looking for. Oh, my sweater. Oh, this. Oh, my tool. Oh, this, right? Now it's more things that you can use, but you have to unpack that baggage. You can't be afraid of it because it's your power. You put your energy in that box and you carry it around with you. You can't use it, right? So that's what's going on there. And it ended off with the Ten of Swords. So let's see. So this is failure, collapse, and defeat. Defeat is a good thing because you see this person can't move. And as I said before, this is on a divine feminine. Now that this person can't move, now that your ego cannot use this area anymore because your mind is under control. Now that your mind is under control, what you desire is presenting itself. Alright, moving on from there to the second one that was off suit. It is I love, and it's the Four of Cups. Let me get it. So, apathy, contemplation, and disconnectedness. Now, obviously that can't be in the heart. That can't be in the heart. That's not an energy that needs to be there. So if there's something that makes you feel like, no, this doesn't need to be here, if it wasn't there, how do you feel? When you're alone, when you're away from it, how do you feel? That feeling that you feel, that safety that you feel, where you can just laugh by yourself, dance with yourself, expand that area, grow that area. That area is where you feel safe. So if that safety extended to every part of your life, you can roam free, right? But now you're waiting for what makes you safe. You're waiting for the energy, the right people, the right timing, that kind of thing. You're being more patient with what's presented to you. You're not taking everybody's cup. You know, not everybody is for you, and you learn that. And went from there to the King of Wands. The Queen of Wands is over here, the King of Wands is over here, and it's still off. So this energy, this conscious, this ego that's out of control was in your mind. Okay, when I say the world of formation is air, Tiferet is the air chakra. So the air chakra powers the world of formation, right? So your mind allows this kingdom to exist. Your mind allows the space around you to be conquered. Because you can see it, because you can go after it, because you have the knowledge, and because you will, right? You have those things under control. Now you can go get it. Your heart, well, now that you have no choice but to deal with the baggage, the mind is becoming under control. Yeah. So went from there to the Three of Cups this time. So not the Four of Cups, but the Three of Cups. And they ended off with the Ten of Cups. So Ten of Swords, Ten of Cups. It did not finish, meaning it did not, it's still off suit. So there's more work to be done in this area. As I keep putting cards down, it represents energy and time. So as you put more energy on a location, because this needs to be balanced with everything else, it requires an amount of time to fix. So I could have kept going, but understand that it's enough for what you need to hear right now. So started off with the Four of Cups. I already went over it. Apathy, contemplation, and disconnectedness in the heart. You're waiting now. And went from there to the King of Wands. So big picture, leader, overcoming challenges. This is who you are. Well, overcoming the challenges because of the burdens that aren't there anymore. Once you've cleared the baggage, you've gained your power back from that space that was taken, from that energy that was pulling you back. Now it pushes you forward. So, of course, you would overcome, right? It's becoming natural. Told you I was gonna kill it. So it's becoming natural. And then went from there to the Three of Cups. So friendship, community, and happiness. Happiness is better than what was here before, because it's not like you're not finding it. You're finding your tribe now. Even though you don't have that one, you have the village. You know what I mean? Now you just have that one piece left. But it's not as bad as you saw it before. You have the perspective in where you have everything you need. It's just one piece left. So it's like going from glass half empty to glass half full. That's the perspective that happened because of some of the blessings you've acknowledged. So I went from there to the Ten of Cups. Speaking of blessings, right? All the blessings. Inner happiness, fulfillment, dreams coming true. Now, what dreams are coming true? This is the side of dreams. The world of creation, the divine feminine, is the side of the dream. The dream is 9 times more powerful than the fantasy. But the fantasy has levels to it. We create our fantasies. We want to be doing this while we're doing this, while we're doing this, while we're doing this, while we're doing this. Up 9 times, and that equals our dream. In my scenario, you know what I mean? But yeah. So you at least have all the energy that you need to create the space. Now, the thing with water and temperance here, water plus fire equals steam and air. So this new energy for you is safe to use, safe to be around. There's a newness in what you've been given. It's safe to use, safe to be around. That's very important for some reason. Well, naturally, if I'm going on with the baggage, all the baggage is cleared. That's what that means. Alright, so moving on to the Emperor, which is I do. Right? This is the solar plexus holding attack. So the Emperor is a fire card. It's on suit in the solar plexus. And It is authority, structure, control, and fatherhood. Now, fatherhood is great when it comes to structure, right? The structure that you have and what your patterns are now, even though it took a long time, and even though it took some discipline, you got it locked, you got it under control, and you are now getting to a place of rest. Once you get to that place of rest, as a conscious energy, you are ready for growth, because there's nothing more to control. It's only time to reorganize what's already there. And if you reorganize it, then it becomes stronger. You use less energy just to maintain it. Now that energy can go somewhere else. So this is what you do. And next up is what you feel. So I feel, which is the Nine of Cups, which is also on suit. So this is good energy in the right place. So, satisfaction, emotional stability, and luxury. Okay, luxury is not only physical, it can be spiritual, it can be conscious, and it can be astral. Astral is with time, conscious is with basically what you see, right? What's going on with you, the justice of the situation, I'm going to say right now. For some reason, I needed to say that. What gets done. So the luxury has to do with a sense of wealth, and this is spiritual wealth, wealth in the mind, wealth in the soul, wealth in the body. When it's wealthy emotions, imagine the expressions that you have are not affecting anybody that's now in your current village, the people that are there for you, around you. It is not affecting anybody. All of your expressions, regardless of what it is now not affecting anybody. You are able to live free. Imagine you're able to have and make mistakes, and nobody's gonna fire you, right? Imagine that. From being their friend. Oh no, you're kicked out of the friend group because you made this one mistake. It only require one mistake. You know how this happens. You know how this goes. It's just what it is. Move on. Deal with it. That kind of thing. One mistake? Oh no. Now I got 9 levels of mistakes I can make. Now everything, all of my cups can be filled and refilled. I can give a little bit of this energy away. I got it. Now I got it under control. Now the people around me are helping me regardless. But it took some discernment. But there's still one cup missing. But yeah, that's in the area of I feel. Next up and lastly is the Two of Swords, which is in the area of I am. So you are in your mind under a certain amount of stress, and it has to do with what you see coming towards you, what the future holds, what you went through in your past, what you don't want to go through again, that kind of thing. But the thing is, see, this is blindfolded. Let me see. So this is blindfolded, and it is difficult choices, indecision, and stalemate. Now, if what you are to manifest doesn't move, doesn't do anything, and doesn't get anything done, you are wasting your energy on things that other people are just going to say, oh, you're not using this? Oh, I can use this. And you're going to think you're winning because you're giving your blessings away to somebody else. Oh yeah, God is going to say, okay, yeah, that was a sacrifice. I'll replenish that for you, but this was for you. Now God has to give you a new thing and train you on something new. Now you learn this new thing, you get this newer thing, and you say, okay, this is not for me. I don't know how to use it, and you don't put any work into it to learn it, something that's a part of you, and then you tell somebody says, oh, this is great. What you think about this? And you all in your ego, yeah, I did that. I'm helping somebody. I did this for them, and they're great because of me, right? Right, because you gave them your blessing. You gave them that secret. It comes from you. When you open your mouth, that's when it's given. That's when they have the power to find out what it actually is. You using your voice. If you don't use your voice, silence is golden. And crazy thing about silence, you ain't playing no game when you're silent. You have to do something. Now it's your goal. And if you're silent and you don't make any moves, the game is over. The game is done. Whatever was being played is now done. The game is done. It's just done like that. Imagine that. You just stay quiet. That's all you have to do. Quiet. Alright, so let's get some of these cards down. So the Four of Swords. To the Devil card. You know that Devil card come out is always tricky. But the crazy thing I find, this the Two of Swords and the Devil has two people. So there's a connection there. Let's get this energy down real quick. So in regards to I am, it started off with the Two of Swords. I went over that real quick. Now it's the Four of Swords, which is rest, restoration, and contemplation. Now, contemplation is better than stagnancy. There's some movement going on. Okay, because this happened, I know what I can do here now. It's not in the shadows anymore. It's not up for debate anymore. It's figured out. It's time approved. It's time tested. You know what I mean? It's something that's concrete. And you're beginning to work with it. And when you do that, they lose their grip. And this is why the Devil had to come. What I mean by Devil is we are not facing each other, but we're facing spirits and principalities and all this other stuff. Governors. I forgot that Bible verse. I need to write it down and just I need to just write it down and put it there. I'm gonna say this all the time. But the energy of hate is conscious and it roams free in this world, and we're fighting that energy of hate that can go into any open door that is available to it to go into. Meaning, like, if somebody doesn't have their energy in their ports are doors are chakras. When it's open, the energy coming out, right? This is how I think. So hopefully it helps. So the Devil, let me get it real quick. Materialism, addiction, playfulness. Addicted to figuring it out. Because after you figure it out, you actually have to go and do it, which is the more scary part. So you already have the answer, you figured it out, but you won't go forward on it because it's a hard thing to do. And I'm gonna tell you what happens. Remember when I said you can't run away from change? Time control. If time is moving, change is occurring. Change is happening endlessly, and it will continue to happen regardless. If you do not change with the current, the wave will hit you into submission. Hopefully you got a way to keep float. Hopefully you knew that the wave was coming, at least. Like, hopefully. Because you don't want to get left behind, right? God doesn't want you to be left behind, but God does not control you. You control yourself. You have free will. Alright, so everything that I mentioned before, we're going to find out who, what, when, where, and why this is all about. So, who is this all about has to do with boundaries. So, stand your ground, be your own guardian, and take up space. This is not the time to play small. Honor your space and create healthy boundaries in your situation. Meditate on this symbol when you want to set a healthy boundary and stick to it. The Yagua can also help you keep your integrity and standards high. See, integrity is probably one of the hardest things to do when you got people who are wicked attacking you. Because it's not like you can't go down there and attack them back. Better and easier because you understand that whole war. You finish that cycle. That's low-hanging fruit for you. So it's not like you need to dominate it. Putting your energy in that lower cycle actually pushes you back. So the better you're able to just let it pass. It's like, oh, this is just food. This is just food. What happened to me was just food for my blessing. You know, that was just food. Alright. God gave me a download before about food. Karma food. When somebody does something bad to you and you're able to keep your dignity and move on and all this other stuff like that, You ate that karma. That person did something negative to you, and instead of you giving it to somebody else, you ingested it. But that ain't nothing but energy, and you are a temple, right? That energy gonna go right where it needs to be and fuel the temple. But understand, you eat karma, karma gets taken away from you. So I just wanted to talk about that energetic exchange real quick. So if things have been happening to you and you've done something bad, either you submit to what needs to be done, or you allow that to run its course until there's nothing left. One way you save face, one way you hold honor. Yeah. Honor is important. So those boundaries, that's who it's all about. What it's all about is affluence, and this is a pinnacle, big old pinnacle, right? So wealth in all forms are available to you now. You are rich on all accounts. Drawing this card invites you to feel the abundant flow of having all that you need on the material and spiritual planes. If you are inquiring about a situation or relationship, this certainly indicates that there is much to be experienced here. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You are being provided for and rewarded at this time. So, the enjoyment of what you've been doing, right? The recognition in it. Recognition goes a long way, because our heart, when you do something that it was very hard to do and you're congratulated, when you receive an award for something and people, you get that standing ovation, when you finish that backflip and all your friends say, oh, that was what's up. Now you're going to be known as the backflip person. And your friends, when they want to see something cool, they're going to be like, hey, do a backflip. Oh, my friend could do a backflip. You're known for that little thing that can help everybody just have that feeling, oh, nice. But that's just something small. What is it that you do that comes from you? It's almost like a quirk. What is your quirk? What do you do that's better than everybody else? It's different. It will always be different, because as different your fingerprint is to the next person is as different as your gift. Alright, so that's what this is all about. When is any of these things happening? When is it taking place? When will it take place? When did it take place? This past, present, future, right? So, past life. So you are being drawn to sacred spaces, ancient knowledge, past lives, and ancient wisdom, and holy gifts. The connection to your current relationship or situation has deep roots, and is perhaps much more than you have anticipated. Dive into ancient wisdom for your answers at this time. You can meditate with the pyramid to access ancient magic, create sacred space, welcome informative galactic downloads from the universe, and encourage ascension for you or your body, mind, and spirit. Alright, so I believe in reincarnation, but I also believe in spirit, right? So spirit has this thing where, just imagine the spirit that you have lived many lives and have been down here a few times and learned a few things, right? There is guidance there. There is, I've been through this is how it's going to turn out. But they don't control anything. And this is where your intuition comes up. This is where your clear senses come up. How good are you able to interpret what spirit is saying? That's your clear senses, right? And focusing on things like that will introduce you to either the key to what you went through before, or the tool that paves the road in front of you. So, why? Why is the most important question, in my honest opinion, in the world? Why? Because why did I come down here to go through this crap? Why did I come down here? Why? Friendship. What did I want to be friends with? Like, I think about stuff like that. Like, what was my purpose? If living my life was the main mission, what's the side mission? Or is living my life the side mission, and there's a main mission that God asked me to come here to do? Obviously, if I'm thinking about it, love is the main mission. Spread love as far as you can spread it. Like, everywhere. So, friendship. This is why. A new ally, positive support, community, and camaraderie. Meditate when you want more harmony and peace in your community. Also used to draw new alliances and friends. You came down here, okay, so the analogy I had, no, this is for me, right? This is one of the pieces of my belief. One, right? I believe a lot of things. But what is the lake of fire if we're talking about the soul is of fire? So, back home? Is that what that means? Or where we came from? That's one. Two, fire is one big fire, right? It's not one piece of fire. We come down here to be one soul, well, one consciousness, one soul, one body, one temple, right? To experience individuality. And in experiencing the individuality, we also have these other individuals that are here. The difference between that and where we were before, everything is one. Down here, we're many. And this many can have a sense of truer love. Because here's when it gets funny. In a place of perfection, what are you experiencing that you haven't experienced already? And for the people who said everything I didn't experience. Alright, so now imagine you've experienced those things now and it's been 300, 500 eons, 1,000 years, let's just say 1,000 years of experiencing everything that you can think of and everything new that this earth has to, But that never happened because you live in perfection. Why go down there? Because the experience, you already know it. So this is why we forget when we come down here, so we can actually experience these things that we couldn't while we're up there. It's neither here nor there, but if that helps you, it helps you, right? Hopefully it did, because it's one of the pieces that I live by. But moving on, we have I care. Now, this is the 8th general principle of, how you have the 7 principles of the universe, right? This is the 8th one. 8th one is I care, and it has to do with this whole area right here. You have the oracle cards, which represents basically the divine feminine or the spirit in a sense right now. And as for the masculine, you see that these points, I really forgot what I was about to say. I promise you I did. It said whoop. God said move on. Alright. So, moving on to the next part of the reading, we have the star stream. If you like this reading so far, give it a thumbs up, share it with your favorite reader, because this is who I'm going to be. Basically, I'm creating this for all the readers as like a master format for tarot. I know that sounds crazy, but this is the most craziest thing that you will see in tarot for the next 100 years. Actually, in the whole spiritual community in the next 100 years. And I can almost guarantee it. I mean that 100%. And as you dig deeper into what this actually has to offer, you will understand what I'm doing. So right now I'm getting the cards out for the star stream. First up is, in experimentation, is spiritual cleansing. This is what you can physically experiment with. What's around you, spiritual cleansing. Now, if it ain't of God, oh my bad, if it ain't of your God, the one that's in your mind, alright, what's inside of your crown chakra? Your crown chakra. I think that inside of the crown chakra is the link to everybody. That place, the source where everybody comes from. That's what's inside of that. So, I forgot why I said that. I don't know, God taking stuff away from me. Maybe you lack the knowledge. Or the knowledge isn't fitting in the right places. And lastly, we have new moon to end the reading off. So, let's start this over. Make it make more sense. First, we went through the kinetic energy, which basically are these 10 perspectives that you see here. Basically, the 10 points that we went over with the eyes. The 10 eyes of perspective, right? That's the kinetic energy. The potential energy has to do with the oracle cards, right? And that basically gives us a focus and a base where to go on with this knowledge, how to basically use this, right? And then or basically the tree of life, Ein Sof or has to do with care, and we've deciphered that, and we fit the energy into a place where it will be balanced. Now what comes next is the star stream, how we use this. So everything before it was just the balance of the energy. Right now it's how we use what we've balanced, because since it's balanced, it's only excess energy to play with. Now we get to play with the energy, right? So I hope that makes sense. I hope I said it correctly. But moving on from there, we have spiritual cleansing. It goes from experimentation, expression, integration, transcendence, and then it ends off with ascendance. Right, so spiritual cleansing and experimentation. So it's time for a spiritual cleansing of the body, mind, or spaces in which you reside. There is an imbalance, stuck energy, or heaviness in your environment that needs to be released before you proceed further. Now, this energy that it just talked about is what we've been talking about the whole time. The releasing it is basically accepting what it is and moving on with it. So that's how you release it. You open the doors to a new whole domain, a new life, a new place to be, right? You have the keys now. Spiritual, you clean it out, then you in its balance, and now you have the keys. I hope that makes sense. That's what you can experiment with. How you can express it talks about the nature spirits. And let me get it. So elementals, fairies, devas, and other nature spirits request your presence. It is time to venture outside, get into nature, and recharge your batteries with the trees, grass, the mountains, the desert, and the sea. There's a magic that awaits you when you communicate with nature. Now, I went to Atlantic City recently, right? And I went to the beach. And after, I didn't even go into the whole water because it was cold, right? Right? Too cold for me. But I didn't even go into the whole water. I just put my feet in, freezing. But that night, I had the most craziest dream. I had a dream that things were being built, and it just made me hype because I know the app that I want to build for the readers. So it just connected it like that. But getting in tune with nature connects you to your dreams more, your spirit more. I think if I'm getting real technical, I think it has to do with the negative or the positive ions that are building up within you when you touch the earth, when you touch natural things, when you are all up in it. Those positive ions release into the earth and shoot your body with the negative ions, which is better for you. So grounding and things like that is what's coming up right now. Your energy needs to be that positive ions inflame everything. When it's negative, it's more at a balance. It's more growth. So that has to do with expression, right? When it comes up to integration, that kind of sounded like integration in itself. But when it comes up to emotional expression, maybe, energetic motion, the energy in motion. And I just talked about the energy. So we're still on the right track. So safe travel in the place of integration. A trip, a journey, or even a simple change of scenery is upon you. Meditate on this before you start a new adventure, move to a new home, or take a trip. Now, movement is in order. So if you've been following me, you've heard what I had to say about movement, love, and balance in general. Balance brings movement. Love is movement. Time is money. And we love our money. The love of money is the root of all evil. So all of that stuff is in a trinity of its own, with time, money, and the other one is space, because you need a place to use this money. Love is balance, and balance is love. we should look for people that balance us, because it brings more movement to our lives. Because I hope you can understand that. Like, it's so simple in my mind right now, but I've thought about it so many times. I just really hope that you can understand what I'm talking about. You know how when somebody says something to you, like they say I love you, and it moves you, then you have the potential energy to do for them just how they made you feel. Now I gotta love you stronger, right? That kind of thing. That gives you an unlimited amount of potential. That love that we think is love, right? But it's that energy that balances, and the fact that you fit so much, and the energies that I could have been stuck in were flowing because we had unity. We fit like puzzle pieces, right? That puzzle piece fit, the circuit is complete. You understand how working in the team gets this done quicker. I can fight your demons, you can fight my demons. I fight my own demons with you, you fight your own demons with my help. So it's just like, whatever's happening, we should end up on top. It's 2 versus 1 every time. I can go on with that analogy forever, because love is honestly undefined. But if you define it as movement, energetic movement, what is it for you now? So next up is knowledge and transcendence. How do you transcend? Basically, that's leveling up. And knowledge is the head of this. So let's see. Remain teachable. There is a new wisdom available to you at this time. This card can signify getting more information before proceeding. It can also signify the presence of an important teacher, or perhaps you are the teacher, and it is time to share your knowledge and gifts with the world around you. Alright. Drawing this card can also indicate a message from your Akashic records. Seek out more information about the records, even perhaps learn how to access your own records for more clarity regarding your query. Meditate on this to learn new things, or draw the right cards, or to draw the right teachers into your life. So, sharing knowledge. Information is power. If I go through a trial, a cycle, and I share it with my friend or somebody who's willing to be teachable at that moment about what I went through, even though it has not exactly anything to do with them, but they're going along the same highways, not the path, the same highway. Highways lead to different destinations, right? So we're going along the same highway, going down the same type of relationship, right? And then we end off at different places, right? So if I tell you about the highways and the little cuts that I did to get past and get to my destination, finally, next thing you know, you won't be lost. Now you have a place to go. Now you have a destination. Now you have that security. Now you have that focus. You see where this is going? This is, in a sense, not your knowledge, but knowledge that I've shared. So that's your power also. The people who are around you in your village, anybody that's honestly that you can talk to, you can share information with them that can help them. But try not to be pushy. Wait for it to be almost pulled out of you, because that's how you know it's accepted. It's almost like that open door, let the energy in. It's a complete difference. It's a complete difference in when it's invited or when it's not. So be careful. But being teachable allows other people to tell you about their cycles, only helping you to claim your time. Now you don't have to go through that 8-month cycle to learn this thing. I just told you in 5 minutes what you needed to learn in that 8 months. Now you have 8 months of life gained. And your partner, God is perfect and funny at the same time. Your partner will have all of the keys. It's almost like you want to take them away from them. No, this is too powerful. You have all the keys to get into these places. Crazy. But yeah, it ended off with the last card of the reading, at the beginning and the end, ended off with the new moon, right? So, a new beginning, a fresh start, and an auspicious time to start new projects. Drawing this card invites you to begin again. Meditate on this at the new moon to bring new energy into your life. Write a list of intentions, dreams, goals, and wishes to support a new direction and invite in inspiration. And crazy, imagination and inspiration kind of go hand in hand, because people can be muses. And if your divine counterpart is also your muse, as well as your friend, as well as your teacher, you could be teachable. What I mean, right? You know what I meant by that. You guys grow together with everything you learn. So the information of two into one is better than one by itself. And this is the reason for the unity in the first place. We ain't never going to get away from it. You have your opposite. You have your unity either within yourself, if you're at that point, or there is a match for you to achieve that balance. Don't look for love. Look for what balances you. Is there a person that balances you? It might not be the prettiest person in the world, but that person balances you, and it brings movement. You can see the life with that person. You might not want that person because of all the things you've been programmed to want. Our mind is not all of our own when we first come out. Well, unless you're gifted like that. I wasn't. Not me. But yeah. So, if you like the reading, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Share it with your favorite reader. Share it with whoever you know that is interested in the spiritual knowledge. I'm a different type of reader. I'm a sci-fi reader. I am an alchemist, basically. I'm an alchemical reader. I talk about the conscious aspects of everything we love about tarot. I talk about the masculine concept in tarot in general. The Zin-Finity Board is going to be known as the masculine approach to tarot in general. So, if you like what you see, again, like and subscribe. With all that said and done, I'm KyFy. Peace.